Now, I'm going to ask you a crafty question here. You might be opening Pandora's box here, right? You
Go on then.
mentioned those different stakeholders, right? You ideally want everyone to have an equal voice, but tell us now who of those different stages of the business, who probably has the most say in those initial sort of workshops, those initial engagements? Who do you think really takes the bull by the horns and that really has the most input?
Yeah. Okay, so taking a step back 20 years, when I first started working in the city, working in the front office, I soon realized that a lot of the fund managers that I worked with were sort of football superstars, right? So whatever they said, everyone listened.
Right.
But I think over the last 10 or so years, there's been a huge shift from not what they say goes, because I think it boils down to fund managers and the front office in general really do appreciate what operations do within a business. They actually now fully appreciate and fully understand that it's operations who actually make the business, turn and work and be operationally resilient. So that shift has gone through. So I would say, it still is the front office who would shout the loudest and demand the most, but I think operations teams and data teams have a lot more say, and therefore they have a seat at the table, which is why I mentioned them. They do, count for a lot, and their values are now a lot more valued than they were before.
It's a really interesting insight, and that's certainly something that we see engagements with as well, right? That there's a lot of push down from front office and other area key decision-making processes, but ultimately the cogs of the wheel are those operations teams,
Yeah.
and they really look at that, and they look at the longer term as well, right? They look at the longer term. How can they better the process? Because they're there every day dealing with all of the issues that other people in the business just don't see, just words, quite nicely, right?
But it's true. I mean, typically the front office are quite sort of siloed in what they do. As long as they have a robust and scalable order management system, that's all they need really to be able to load and load up their orders and execute their trades. That for them, that's it. And there's a reasonable compliance engine. But it's actually what happens down the pipe after that.
Yeah.
So therefore, operations teams now have a seat at the table and have a louder voice.
Yeah, absolutely. And you refer back to order management systems again, and that can be a bigger conversation, I suppose. So the question being is, technology has and can play a huge role in the improvement of the process automation function. So, for a manager contemplating a project, which you might just involve that review of technology, but also potentially the implementation, what suggestions would you have for an organization looking at reviewing their technology stack?
There has to be front to back harmonization. I think that's the critical element here. I think there has to be both sides, or the entire organization have to be communicating and singing from the same hymn sheet, essentially. So there's various approaches that can be taken here. Rationalizing that landscape, that technology landscape. Having everything under one roof is what we're seeing currently at the moment. Reducing the legacy systems, implementing new systems which are more scalable and more robust. Maximizing data efficiency as well, using the metrics that are out there, using the vendors that are out there to create that efficiency in sort of data, and using the sort of push-pull dynamic, which we're seeing quite a lot at the moment, and making sure that transition is accurate and seamless. And that goes basically to the point about having golden copy, IBOR and ABOR. Firms are wanting that to be fit for purpose and sort of what's the word? Accurate really, and robust. Really.
Yeah.
And also making sure that their service providers out there are doing what they say they're going to do, with a bit of bespoke tweaking for the requirements of the business need.